Hello friends, I am Old Man Cloud. I upload daily Bazaar videos to YouTube. I've recently doubled my subscriber count from 1 to 2, which is very exciting. I just love the game. I'd be playing it anyway. I kind of like talking through my thought process, so I thought why not give this a go. So here I am, playing as Vanessa again. Let's go Enchanted. Maybe some enchanted items will inspire me to not just play one weapon Vanessa. Radiant Silent, useless. Radiant Honing Steel, useless. These are all absolutely terrible. Let us take... So it just comes down to which item we want, really. Let's go... Silencer. Just tossing up. Honing Steel, really good early item. Have a look at what you're cooking. Let's take those two. Yeah, sure. Silver Silencer early. We just need a weapon to go with it. What a weird early build. The last 3 Vanessa runs have been laying John, I think. May as well go for 4. Yeah, this is a case of early item pushing us towards one weapon build. Early shops pushing us towards aquatic build. Let's see where we end up. Yeah, really enjoying Vanessa. I think Vanessa has more archetypes than the other than maybe Pig. I feel like Dooley is pretty much Power Drill or the DJ Nanobots build. Don't see much else other than that. Feel like Mac is a bit all over the place, obviously, as a new hero, but seems to mostly be either poison or potion. And Pig late game is pretty much anyone's guess, but likely property scaling. And mid game is probably a Pig that's lost, a Pig that's trying to find its way. Yeah, yuck. Cove for Econ and just forsake the first day. Yeah, alright. So the first day is a loss. But I think we were losing anyway. Yeah, rough spot. Even against a Pig, we will almost certainly get in a lot of trouble, but let's find out.
Underestimate. It makes this more fun.
It's always rough to have these early starts in ranked. God, have we found that one build in Bazaar we can beat? I still think we may lose. No, we've got shield. We're going to win because of our shield, I think, here. I cannot believe that we are going to win this. That must have been a 1 in 20 chance, I would say, that we win this. Our build is so terrible. I was considering just putting nothing on the board to make sure that we the match goes as quickly as possible, but there you go. We found the one build in Bazaar we can beat. So they're trying to build some type of Piggles build. Enchanted Piggles. We will take our free win and run while we can. Thank you very much. Now let's actually try to get a board together here. I have a tendency to get overly attached to... Oh, thanks for the Enchanted Pickles. That's actually quite good. I have a tendency to get over-attached to my starting enchant. We're really obviously straddling 2 archetypes here, which tends to not particularly work in the Bazaar. I'd say a valid criticism of the game is that it's difficult to not fall into an archetype. Which is, or to not fully embrace an archetype, I should say. Don't really want to re-roll. I guess we can sell the Stinger, which isn't getting out here. Yeah, I think let's take left-handed, because we're going to almost certainly run a weapon at some point.
I'm impressed.
This is one of the rare cases where transform. We could transform our Cove. Let's try that. I've been talking about how terrible transform is. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can transfer large, thankfully. Let's see. Wow, there you go. It's fated. The game wants us to run single weapon Vanessa. Who am I to say no to that? So it won't be Shark. Although Shark Claws does scale itself, but there's going to be better options than this. So let's hopefully beat Mosquito, I think, and then let's get a weapon out of here. That was a cool transform. But yeah, I think the Bazaar is going to get better and better, in my opinion, as the item pool gets larger and larger, which is why it's really good that the new items are being added to the standard rotation automatically once the battle pass is over for that month. I think I suggested that change in my first video, and obviously tempo is... There's one view on that video, and it was obviously Reynad, because he's stolen that idea. And I think it's a great improvement. So it just means the item pool for all the characters is going to get slowly bigger and bigger, and that is going to make the game better and better, in my opinion. The more items, the better. You really, in an ideal world, you get to the point where it is impossible to brute force an archetype. So, you know, you might see Crow's Nest 1 out of 10 runs and think, oh, I'll play the single weapon build this time, rather than seeing it all the time. So I think that's ultimately where the game will end up, hopefully, and I think that'll be a really good spot for the game. Double barrel can work as a single item, but we would need a reloader. So I don't think anything here we pick up. Let's take the reroll. I'm rerolling because if we see... Yeah, Katana's a good single weapon. So I think we're going to sell into that, which means we can get rid of pretty much the whole board. We can definitely get rid of Shark Claws. And then we can... What is a single item that we'd want to play out of here? Probably Restorative Blue Piggles for the crit chance. Sell, 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 sell. And we've ended up with a single weapon Vanessa, somehow. That's probably better. I mean, I say somehow. We started with a silencer and immediately upgraded it, so it was always not exactly improbable. But our first shops were really pushing us towards aquatic. I do like Crow's Nest Vanessa, though. Obviously, we want haste and scaling. See, I guess now it's probably... I mean, if you're watching this and are new to the Bazaar, and you don't really know how to go about building this one weapon Vanessa, there are a few things to keep in mind. The key components of it are usually, a weapon that's well suited to it, which can be a quick firing weapon that you then buff with scaling and skills, or there's other kind of single shot weapons like the sniper rifle that's really strong, or the submarine and the submersible are both good options as well. But basically you just have to either try and learn or look at some type of tier list to get an idea of the weapons that work well in this build and those that don't. Silence is a really important component of it. You're almost always going to want silencer primarily for the cooldown reduction, and the Crow's Nest is the key of it. As you saw that fight, the lifesteal is just huge, and the scaling hit is really great as well. So that's kind of the core of the build that gets it off the ground. Once you've got that together, you're really looking for haste, crit chance. You really want to get your crit chance to 100. You really want your weapon to be hasted as much as possible. And that's not a bad defensive option. I was about to say defensive items can be quite helpful as well. So shielders, like you just saw, we picked up the life preserver, can be helpful. And scaling is really important as well, which obviously the best item for that is Shadow Cloak, which you can get from Curio. Shadow Cloak would have been a huge pickup there. We don't get it. But I think boots are still good enough to pick up. Boots are a good item because they also, if you pick up a better haster, you can sell the boots into that haster and improve it. Let's also improve the CDR on the katana. So you take off the silencer to make sure it gets the full value from the cooldown. And let's give you a bit more damage. So no cloak, but not a bad curio. And then late game, the build does honest, and Cutlass is another really good weapon for this Crow's Nest Vanessa. Single weapon doesn't tend to scale massively well in the very late game, unless you get a really strong enchant or you get some really busted skills. So you usually try to win quick, or you have an eye out for kind of super busted items. Swashbuckle is one way you can go into the late game for sure. We're definitely upgrading Crow's Nest here.
Now this will inspire the
And you always want to keep an eye out for a potential pivot into Boulder, because the items that help with single weapon tend to help with Boulder as well. So you can get a great pivot late game into Boulder. I think that's actually better than a haste. So you always want to keep an eye out for that, and you almost want to be kind of saving items and to some extent picking up skills that can help you with the Boulder, because that's one way to take this. Oh, we're up against Raren Fanboy. Count me amongst that club. This looks like a scary pig. I mean, Spiky Shield is an odd item here. They're going to be pumping lots of regen, but I think we win. So yeah, the benefit here is we've got, in late game you really want charge skills as well. Charge skills are how you, like Flurry of Blows for example, or Shield Bash. They're how you really make a Crow's Nest build from good to great. But the advantage we've got is we've got the core of the build online early, so we can focus on getting our econ sorted and getting the peripheral parts of the build together. And we've got our silencer can't be frozen, slowed, or destroyed, so obviously we're crushing it.
I'll help you find who does.
Sure.
If it's not right for you, bring
Star Chart is good to have in the bag, or just good to have full stop because it enables dock events. Upgrade to Katana is super marginal. Upgrade to Boots is probably worth, but then Boots takes away a lot of damage, which actually matters. Let's just upgrade Katana for the minor damage buff.
real friendly. Ooh, the keener the blade, the quicker the fight.
And then there's no point putting any of this on the board. Nothing. Oh, I guess Piggles heals for 20. It's better than nothing. Take a tool. I think we can probably take... These two are kind of scary. I think we probably could have taken at least Retiree, but his damage does scale and we don't. We don't have inevitability. We could really use... I mean, Shadow Cloak, obviously. Honing Steel would probably take the cake over Star Chart. Yeah, just some way to scale as the game goes on, because as the fight goes on, because obviously the advantage of lifesteal is you tend to drag out fights. So having some scaling is very advantageous. Having some money would also be very advantageous. That does not appear to be on the cards though. Guess we got some sales. Yeah, we'll sell you into lighter. It's enough money to justify a shop. Javelin is a really cool, a very underrated single weapon build item, but we're not set up for it. We just don't have any haste. So unfortunately we can't pivot into that. And none of these work. So that's a pass. So we haven't improved much today. Wouldn't be surprised to get rolled here. So Vanessa, that looks like they lost day 2, day 1 and 3.
I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
Weapon spam Vanessa. Yeah, interesting builds. They've gone Crow's Nest, but they've decided they don't care about lifesteal and they're just trying to rush me down, and it's going to work. Cool build. I like the approach. So they're using Crow's Nest just for the crit chance. They've got lots of weapon skills, and they just rush people down, and then later on they pivot into the one weapon Vanessa. Definitely a good strategy, and it rolled us. So we're really looking to improve today. Not that way. We have to take it, but we need something more significant than that. I don't think we can roll because it's going to be a silver item. We're going to be hard pressed to afford it. We haven't got any AI fights, which hurts. That's we'd have to get. No, that probably doesn't work. Have to roll. You make lighter very, very good. But you're the scaling we need, and that's the crux of the build. Let's take the XP. Now let's take Kyber Commander. So we haven't really committed much, if anything, to Katana, so I'm very open to shifting into another weapon. We've got it to gold, but we haven't committed sharpening stones or anything to it. So there's absolutely, we'd love your Counter-Strike skill, but there's absolutely a me when I'm watching Squeaks, but there's absolutely a argument for transitioning from the katana to something else is what I'm trying to get out. But for the time being, we get its cooldown down further. I've said this before in runs, but geez, that's a fast katana already, especially if we can get it hasted. The benefit of katana is that it works great with a lot of enchants. Alright, we finally hopefully got another fight. Yeah, that's a good one. Poor, desperately needed XP. Wonder if you can make an argument for Obsidian Fang over katana. Let's worry about it if we get it. I'd love Eagle Talisman. Aggressive would be good. Yeah, aggressive or Eagle Talisman I would happily take. Fang would make me think, which I don't appreciate in the slightest. Pelt is fine for econ.
Rally men, blades to the wind.
Let's have a look at item. Let's live a little. Nah. Not what we wanted. Interesting. Interesting. Probably just a bit too late. I know it's silver. If it was gold, we'd talk. Don't think that's even possible at this point.
We're out to dethrone a king.
Well, definitely not from that event anyway. But yeah, Langzhong, very obviously you want it early. This is a much better single weapon build than us. This is the build. This is the single weapon build. This absolutely destroys us. So yeah, helpful reality check in that the fact we haven't improved at all over the last 2 days has unsurprisingly put us in a poor position. But this is an incredible build. They've got God's build going on there. They've been blessed. They've been blessed by the Ray Noodle.
Come on in. Let's check.
Not at all what I want.
So, how about this weather?
You're interesting because we're burning a lot, so the reloading is not an issue. Problem is that your real advantage is crit chance, and we build that in with Crow's Nest anyway, so you're not a great Crow's Nest weapon. Change my life? Yuck. Not getting much here. The fact that we're still playing with restorative blue piggles is not good. Let's try for large. Let's consider pivoting into sub. It is a good single weapon. It is probably better than you. Piggles is gone. I think this is better. We'll see how we go with it anyway. Oh yeah, we probably should have had lighter on the other side of here the whole time. Not that it really matters. Let's see how we go with sub. 2.6 cooldown. It's decent. Certainly hitting harder. Is it hitting harder? Katana's probably more raw damage. I mean, I can do the maths if I could be bothered, but it's too late for that. I think Katana's hitting harder, but the survivability from the shield on the sub is probably worth running the sub, in my opinion. Now's the time to make the call, or we upgrade Crow's Nest or Silencer? I think Crow's Nest for crit chance. Because by not upgrading the sub, we still keep our options a bit more open. But yeah, we want the build that other guy had. We pretty much want all his items rather than our items. Small items you go to solely for Silencer, but I'll take the guaranteed money instead. Perfect level 7 Vanessa. Eesh, we might be up against another better Crow's Nest build here. Where am I max at? We're up against a weapon spam build. Hopefully our shield's enough to get us through. Oh, that Fang is devastating though. And they're scaling. They don't have any heal. I think we lose. Yeah, we lose. We probably lose that with Katana anyway. But yeah, we're obviously in a really bad place. Despite getting the core of the Crow's Nest up early, we just had nothing. I'm more than prepared to admit where I think I played poorly, but we just were getting absolutely nothing of what we needed offered to us. Haste is what we need for sure. When you crit haste. I think we have to take you and play you over you. We sell Crow's Nest into you and we take off Lighter so that you're not stealing the haste. When you crit haste one item, so you're constantly getting hasted. Are we better off with this? Going 1.4, which is actually... I'm pretty sure haste can take it under a second. So you're going to be going boom, 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 boom. And we can run Star Chart with you. So you're really going boom, 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 boom. Albeit losing the damage buff from the Science, which is pretty significant. This might be better. So maybe that was a mistake pivoting into the sub. So yeah, having said I'll just own my mistakes. That was probably a mistake. Because now you scale every hit with improvised weapon as well because we've got your crit chance up. Yeah. Yeah.
People first, profit 10.
No. You're also a very good one weapon build. Cooldown reduced by 50%. So you're 3 seconds as opposed to... I think you're better than sub. I'm off sub. Do we want to give you a shot?
Yeah, if that doesn't work out for you, come back for a refund.
Bit more damage, bit more shield, still super fast. Still scales. Let's try. Let's try for the AI. Don't have particularly high hopes for this run, as shown by my AI choice. You're perma-hasted, and you scale yourself every hit. So you're satisfying. At the very least, you're satisfying for sure. It goes pew-pew. I've always wanted to try a single weapon build with Submersible, so let's give it a shot. We've run some Katana runs before.
Full sail, my boys.
And let's get a skill to save our run. That's a great skill. And let's fight an AI that we can beat. Never mind. Useless. Let's transform our sub. Oh, where'd it go? We sold it. Maybe we should have kept it to transform. Yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. It's a good get. Now that you're upgraded, you can really make a case for the extra damage being more important than the cooldown and crit, but let's keep it like this for the time being. Actually, we don't need you to be adjacent, so maybe this is a play. We drop your crit chance a bit, but I think the initial damage from the silencer is worth it. Shame we can't buy the island, obviously. So you're perma-hasting Submersible. You're giving it cooldown reduction. We're up against a Mac, which is what we wanted. So watch me get absolutely annihilated here. There's no way this is getting to 10, unless something significant changes. You look scary. You look scary for sure. Oh, we don't want that to go off. No, unfreeze me. Unhand me. Yeah, we lose. Our shield does nothing against the poison. We just lose to poison. That's a cool build as well. Although, actually, our life still does something against poison, but we can't do something against 21 multicast Plague Glaive. So we're going to get an enchant, and we're going to be on lethal, and we're going to pray that we get to 4 wins. The run just hasn't come together. It happens. It happens. Nah, let's take a gamble. Give me obsidian. Give me damage. Give me damage. Burn. Fine. Fine.
But I'm a good swimmer. Take your time. I'm free.
Nah. Yeah. We committed with the enchant. So we need you in place of... the perma haste is probably more useful, so we probably run it like this. You get perma hasted from you. You don't get the CDR, but you still go pretty damn fast with the haste. That's just better, isn't it? Yeah, the haste is better. It would be nice to get a skill that can haste, which would allow us to put the map back out. But anyway, that's obviously an enormous improvement. We'd be pretty stiff to... do we try the dragon? We're not getting to level 10 anyway, I don't think. Yeah, let's give it a shot. I mean, this is probably a massive throw. But our little submersible that could does go very, very fast. And dragon really needs the dragon heart to go off twice, I think. Yeah, so I think we win. We do. Dragon heart could be fun.
It's over already.
Would settle for a skill? No. But now we do get to level 10, I think. So that was actually a gamble well worth it. Swashbuckle is such a great weapon for the random enchant. Because 2 out of 3 of its possible enchants are incredible. And there's only 1 miss. So there's 1 out of 3 chance it misses. And I think that's far better than the odds on most other items. So in my opinion, Swashbuckle, one of the best recipients of the random enchant. And I think unless we get a crit enchant to put on Crow's Nest, that is what we'll be doing. We are... oh no, we're just going to miss out on the level. I've done some maths wrong. So that's pretty devastating, actually. That really hurts that we miss out on... I mean, I say maths. I've counted wrongly, basically. So we just miss out on level 10, which would have been really nice to hit. And we're up against someone who has hit level 10, which is a huge advantage over us. So we're in trouble. This might be one that doesn't make the YouTubes. Oh no, you look scary. Everything about this is scary. The health, the potions, the burn. We're cooked. They're going to come in thick and fast. And the freeze. Why'd you do that to me? So much burn. Disgusting burn. Although we win, somehow. I was sandbagging. It's the benefit of having shield as opposed to... the benefit of having shield when you're faced with burn. And the effectiveness of burn against Mac, because Mac doesn't have any shield, was on full display there. So like I said, we take random enchantment Swashbuckle, and we want anything other than the Radiant, and it looks like we got Shiny, which is great. Shiny, and I think the other one is Crit, are both, I think, pretty much the same, but both really, really good in terms of buffing the damage. Oh, in fact, Swashbuckle is even better with Submersible because it double buffs the shield. So that was a great pickup. Just can't be bothered with the hero merchants. Can never be bothered with the hero merchants. So, you're over 100 crit chance. We'd love an upgrade on the Swashbuckle or the Silencer. Other than that, we're looking for skills. Or an upgrade on the Submersible wouldn't go awry either. We're pretty sure we beat you. Do we want your skill, is the question. It's not really the right build for it. We're kind of running a pew 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 build, whereas you benefit from a bang build. Death Knight Reaper has some great skills for lifesteals, which we have. These are both really good for us. I think we take the Death Knight because we can beat him, I'm pretty sure. Well, it's always hard to tell. And Hypnotic Drain is incredible. Deadly Eye we take, although it's not great, we just use it for damage. Desperate Cleanse is great. Some items might change our life. Yeah, really good skill. Yeah, really good skill. So can't complain about that. And we get the max XP. Give us something juicy. That's pretty good. That's even better. Oh, baby! This is the dangerous... oh my god, it's all happening.
Friends protect. Weapons protect. Conclusion, weapon is...
Extra crit chance is pretty juicy. Extra crit chance is then turned into 25 damage, which I'm pretty sure is going to be better than how it upgrades. Let me just check how Bazaar for how the Submersible upgrades. Submersible, how Bazaar. What a great website. It upgrades damage by 12 and nothing else. So we're absolutely better off giving you crit chance. Because we're never getting rid of the swashbuckle, obviously. Our build is... Oh, well, I was going to say, our build is so good and is clearly so good and fun, but we're on lethal. And being on lethal in Bazaar is so scary, because all it takes is to run up against one person who has a more busted build than you, or who counters your build. And that may be about to happen. Like, elemental depth charge. I think we're nastier than you, although you're pretty nasty. You slow, but we haste and we go pew pew pew. So I think, yeah, we're a nasty build. We're a nasty build. And still we've somehow managed to turn this one around. Until we run into disruption, we're going to take some beating, man. I think we're even beating like kind of boulder builds at the moment, unless they've managed something truly broken. This is a nasty bit of work. We'll take that upgrade because the crit chance is transferred into damage. And now we have no further needs for you. We would love to see an upgrade for Swashbuckle and Silencer is the dream. I think we probably prioritize Silencer for the CDR. But Swashbuckle just adds so much damage it might almost be too good to pass up. Like I said, in random enchant on Swashbuckle, very, very strong. Pew 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 pew. We got the dream skills. I think I mentioned at the start of the run, Flurry and Blows, and I may not have mentioned Mixed Message, but it's certainly one of the ones you want. It's also scaling itself each fight. We've really got everything. Oh, you're tempting me. You're tempting me, brother. You gotta take a look. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, but it's not as good. It's not as good as the Submersible, I'm sorry. I would love to one day run the single weapon octopus build, but today is not that day. It's too cool to have come back from the brink. Let's just make double sure. To have come back from the brink to throw it away here. So let's stick with you. Curio damage buffs are fine. Crit buffs are damage. We've got the money. Let's do it. As annoying as it can be.
Waiting for you.
Don't have any slowers. Crit chance is damage.
Circuits to see that final.
CDR.
Now that's a bargain.
Yeah, that's not a bad shop. Okay, can probably get rid of the star chart. Just really hope we don't. What are we better off with? The only mild flex item is Sextant, but even then it's kind of not. It's kind of set. So we're really not shopping for something that can improve our build. We're really shopping for the upgrades. So I think we're better off taking a look at non-weapons and hoping we match one of ours. Because you can very easily... Oh, there we go. We got one. That's nice. Nice for the damage. You're perma-hasted anyway. You can really dig away your money at Pearl's dig site without seeing much return for investment. I just don't see any way we lose. We're so nasty. Very famous last words.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share.
Yeah, no chance. No chance, brother. That's a skill we would want, for sure. But they're massively outclassed here. That is nasty. Glad that we're finally running a single weapon submersible build. Very glad, because I have thought often that it can work quite well. It's effectively a sub, but in a smaller package. Upgrading the Swashbuckle's going to add 25% crit, which is actually 50 damage. Yeah, 50 damage and 100 shield, which is really nice. Or we get you going 5%. It's just too good. The moment I said 5%, I know how significant it is, but number go up is just too nice to see. And let's really try to shop around for a silencer, because it is pretty much the only way that we improve now, other than skills. Maybe could have had a look at the weapon shop for exactly submersible, but the benefit it offers is really marginal.
I would tell you
We XP max.
the edge of the foundation. They wait.
Every time I think I must be able to take him, and I never can. But surely this time I must be able to take him. All these freezers are going to go on Submersible, but all we need is for it to go off just once, and it goes pew pew pew. And the others don't offer us much, I don't think, that we want. Surely.
For my client, it's personal.
We'd love this skill.
It's a job.
Oh my god, we're frozen for 12 seconds. I didn't know it was that bad. I knew we'd get frozen. I guess the fact it's a medium item rather than a large item is pretty painful. We just need to go off once would be nice. Once? Yeah, we just got there. Phew! Jeez, this guy's a piece of work, isn't he? Give me the skill. I deserve it. I deserve it for that. No. Cool item, but not for this build. So freeze skills are good disruption, but diamond skills are more fun. These are all atrocious. We got what we deserved. I'd like something better. Yeah, obviously phenomenal. Also phenomenal. Also phenomenal. Wee wah. I mean, as nice as big number goes up, we don't really need it, do we? We don't really need it. It's so juicy, but we don't really need it. Max health for survivability you can make a real argument for. But I think just reel them in is so strong. Because I think we go flurry of blows to get them to half health. And then we reduce our cooldown of sub to 1 second with haste. And we finish the job. So I think that just made us even nastier. Let's look for silencer and pretty much nothing else, I think. That was always unlikely. Let's... No need to go to shop. Let's take some health. Regen or shield. Probably better off just taking the shield. Both pretty inconsequential. If we don't get to 7, this is a crime. But I'm sure there's some... There's always a busted build that breaks your build. You're never undefeated or impossible to defeat in this game. But I don't see us losing to this. Yeah, I mean, they're nasty. They're super nasty. But once we go off once, we're in business. A way of improving how fast we get the first shot off would be nice, but there's very limited ways of doing that now that they've nerfed a lot of the skills that did that. It's mostly monster skills. We really are looking for silencer and not a huge not much else from shops. In which case, I think you got to go gumballs, I'm afraid. Oh, it's... I mean, I got overly excited. They're effectively 2 damage each, but we take those. There's a nice little damage boost there. And you're gone, bud.
I assume you're here to give tribute.
Take unwavering for sure. That's probably about it. Don't think we can run Eclipse anyway. This is a nasty, nasty build. I mean, I guess you've seen one weapon Vanessa builds before. Like I said, they're nothing new, but it's an interesting build in that it's not the most typical weapon to be playing as, and I think it's gone under the radar a bit how good it is. And it's interesting in that we were so close to the brink, had a really rough middle game. Oh, what a great item. It's going to make us even more devastating. What a damage jump. And we bought it back. And I think we bought it back with some good decision making. Not to pat my own back too much. My stash is a bit bugged there. But we bought it back. And that's nice. We got lucky with some shops, but earlier we got unlucky with some shops. So it all comes out in the wash. All comes out in the swash in this case. If I had any unsubscribers. If I had any subscribers, you'd be free to unsubscribe there. Let's scamble. Oh, I had a feeling for silencer there. So yeah, it's just a matter of kind of... I mean, the build is pretty much on autopilot now. There's very minimal ways to improve. We just pray we don't run up into a build that counters us, which is freeze. We get countered by freeze pretty easily. That dually ray knocks us down. This, because we get our first shot off with... Oh, freeze! Come on, please! Oh, that was dangerous. But yeah, you can see all it takes is, I mean, that was a strong build on the other side. They had a pretty serious freeze, and then they had a lot of damage coming in, and that is one of the ways we get countered for sure. Not much we can do about that. I mean, we can take the chocolate for health, which I think is better than hunting for the submersible.
Rally, men! Blades to
And
the
we
wind.
upgrade our silencer. Goodbye. Looks like we're quitting to main menu. Surprised I haven't fixed that bug. I don't want to start a new run. That was a bit scary. I wonder what happens if you if I just insta-clicked the free ticket there. Maybe my run is just lost. Yeah, so it's buggier than you'd expect for a 1.0 release for sure. There's no way around that.
Kingdom.
But who cares? It's still very fun. Skills can be great, but we're a bit spoiled with our skills. So let's take the
This
guaranteed
will
CDR
inspire the crew.
and on the sub. And let's take the sharpening stone rather than hunting around for the upgrade. I think we get you, and I think even if we lose, it'll be funny. So let's try our chances. I think we actually might just kill you before you get to do anything. So nasty. What a vicious build. The skills of the Flurry of Blows skill plus Reel 'em in. Desperate Cleanse may well have saved us that previous fight, by the way. I didn't fully check what happened, but they were piling on the burn, so I do wonder if we got to half health and got saved by that. I mean, it's so marginal now. I think we start with the shield.
Full sail, my
And
boy.
here we take haste and charge. We want charge rather than haste for sure. These are both haste. So as good as this looks, it's not, because you're permanently hasted anyway. And you don't help us get off the ground any quicker. So we're really looking for charge or disruption. This would be so... again though, I was thinking it's charge and it's not. So we really... Quick freeze, diamond level is fantastic disruption. So we take that. We're no longer looking for silencer, so we just buy some gumballs. The build really does play itself now. It really is a matter of not running up into a more busted build than us, and we'll get to 10. This is a build that's capable of 10 for sure. Mac is always scary, but I feel like we match up relatively well against Mac unless it's freeze. We don't want to see that stupid cat thing. I don't think we do. This is nasty, but it won't be nasty enough, I don't think. Oh god, maybe it will be. Unfreeze me, brother! We got our engine online, but so do they. We get there. Yeah, every freeze is so scary, but yeah, we're so disgusting that we can survive that significant of a freeze to our single weapon build, which is a great position to be in. This really has come together nicely, and hopefully we can take it to 10 wins. It's funny how much more satisfying 10 wins is than 9. Let's just race through today, because it really is only skills that improve us. We beat you last time, which means we probably beat you again. You have a great skill for us, but you have a great skill for us. I think your cryo mastery skill is just so good for us. So I assume very similar to last time will happen, where we get scared and get to low health, and then our submersible gets to go, but maybe he's gotten strong enough that that doesn't happen. No, we should be fine. The moment we get to go once, we're in business. With our skills, the moment we get to go once, we're pretty good. I think the way we lose is by just never getting to go at all. Oh, I thought it was the one. It's not the one. We still take it.
Ride that tide.
But the other skill obviously would have been so much juicier. Gumballs. Good. That's the ones we like to see. So let's do a quick rundown of how the build works, even though it's not the most complicated build. But I think that can be quite useful for players who aren't super familiar with the archetypes. Sadly, this doesn't get us a level. So we take... Well, I mean, it's literally useless. Let's have a look at a diamond. I can't see anything that would change the build, but anyway. So yeah, the build is obviously Crow's Nest giving crit chance and lifesteal to our single weapon. Sextant giving constant haste to our single weapon because it's the only recipient of haste, only possible recipient of haste, with bonus crit chance being very nice. Submersible is a good weapon for this because of its defensive capabilities and its relatively low cooldown when paired with a large item. Swashbuckler is the MVP by far. It's a great item with this build anyway because it converts crit, and in particular crit above 100, which is usually useless, into damage. And it also is great here because it buffs shield doubly, to use a technical mathematical term, compared to damage, which is really nice. So phenomenal item. Here we've got Enchanted with Shiny, which is obviously just incredible. Diamond Silencer to reduce cooldown, which makes a big difference, and various skills to charge and to, yeah, pretty much the sole objective of these skills is to charge. We've got a bit of defense with Desperate Cleanse. We've got scaling, but we don't really need it. And then we've got Reel 'em In. So really the combination, I think, of Flurry of Blows and Mixed Message to start, followed by... Actually, I was forgetting Mixed Messages when I use a non-weapon, so that's actually doing nothing. But anyway, Flurry of Blows to start, get them down to half health, then Reel 'em In. Should be pretty tough to deal with so long as we get to go once. That's the build in a nutshell. And hopefully we get to 10. Hopefully we don't see some type of perma-freeze. Looks okay. I think we should be fine. They're going to put on a hell of a lot of burn, but our shield is really strong against that. Yeah. Yeah, we win easily. Even with nearly 3,000 burn. Just way too strong. Phenomenally strong build. Even with the slowdown from library, I was wondering why we were going a bit slower. That's pretty incredible that we did that even with the slowdown from library. Incredibly strong build. Single weapon Vanessa still in a really great spot. Even though it's not the most exciting archetype to play, was glad to have recorded it and get to 10 wins. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the subscribe button. I upload Bazaar gameplay videos every day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.